Hey out there. It's uh it's been an interesting week. We My family we just lost a very close family friend. This is somebody that my parents have known for longer than I've even been alive, and who I've grown up with, and been in their been in their house countless times, and we were close with, and it's been rough. He Well, I guess let me give you a little bit of background on the family. This particular family has been through more than I think I could probably endure. The the wife of our friend was married to I believe it was the cousin of my friend before she was married to him. He passed 10 years ago, almost to the day that our friend just passed. She lost her first husband, and then I guess it was probably 2 years ago now, she lost her son, and now she's lost her second husband. Now, I've had people tell me various times in my life that the good things that happen to me, to my family, me and my wife, those things are the result of us being taken care of and watched out for and directed by a higher power, by a God. Well, if you accept that, then you also have to accept that every unbearably horrible thing that happens to either you or people that you care about has to then be attributed to the same higher power or God. You can't separate the two. You take the good, you take the bad. And I cannot fathom how any just, loving being could allow a family to endure as much pain as that family has endured. I find it unfathomable. So, our friend had a Catholic funeral, and I can't deny the comforting power of certain imagery, ideas, concepts that originate from the Catholic tradition. The priest in this at the service, he used a lot of powerful imagery of a ship sailing off, and we're on the shore watching the ship fade away into a dot, and we're waving goodbye and crying that these people are no longer with us. And on the other side, the other shore, they are watching the dot grow into the ship, and it's the same ship, and they're waving and crying because they're happy that they're finally coming home. Powerful image. But of course it's contingent on there being another shore, which is something that we don't know. We're taking it on faith from the same 2,000-year-old book that I have rejected for years because of its contradictions, inaccuracies. Now, it would be just as easy to be able to accept that the afterlife put forth in the Christian, I guess in this case the Catholic tradition, But it struck me as funny how at the funeral there was no mention at all of hell. There was just the assumption that every Catholic funeral I've been to, there's the assumption that they are now in heaven. And, you go to you listen to any other preaching and not at a funeral, and it turns out they're telling you all the ways that you're going to go to hell. It seems to me very convenient that hell gets forgotten at funerals, and everybody's in heaven. That's the imagery that they use, and it is comforting. I can't deny that. I think it's selective. I think it's manipulative, but it is comforting. Personally, I find it more comforting thinking that we go back into nature that we came from after we die, seeing as how whatever life is in us is a form of energy which can't be created or destroyed. I think of things scientifically. That's how I operate. It also strikes me as ironic that the most personal and touching part of the funeral mass is the eulogy, which is personal anecdotes from people who knew, or in this case, siblings, talking about the person who passed. And it's the one part of the service that is completely secular, and that's the part that I find the most personal, touching of any part of the service. The rest of it is just the same weekly impersonal mass that you always hear. It's memorization and repetition. It's the same thing when I was in Catholic school, the same exact service, same exact words. They're just doing it in front of a casket. I sometimes wish that I still had the capacity to believe that everyone is going to be reunited at some point. But I can't make myself believe it anymore.